Just like any other audience, queer people do require a couple of small accommodations to actually feel more at ease at home in your company, to feel more welcome. I think the most famous of them all is gender-neutral bathrooms and dressing rooms. I think that's an obvious one. I think having a bathroom or dressing room where you can feel safe in is a right that everybody should have. If you do not have the opportunity to create a third bathroom or a third dressing room, consider giving a rule out that everybody can use the dressing room or the bathroom where they feel most comfortable in. But I always recommend just take one of your bathroom stalls, put an inclusive logo on it, and let anybody who wishes use that. It's going to take a lot of stress away for a lot of people. Now, when a employee transitions, and then we're talking trans people, there's a lot of things you can do to accommodate that person. I usually look at a transition the same way as you would look at a pregnancy, because in a way we're talking about new life. For me personally, it was new life, not a surgery, but starting hormones. And when you look at everything, you look at a process of somewhere in between 1 to 2 years, which is not that different as the journey you go through when you're pregnant and when you deliver a baby, for example. So it's a similar impact for you as a company or an employer as well. Just like in a pregnancy, my first months on estrogen were actually quite eventful. I think if you're female, like assigned female at birth, and you become pregnant, hormones do a lot. For a trans person, when we first start taking hormones, if it's estrogen like me, or if it's testosterone when you're a trans man, then hormones will be raging all over the place. One small secret, which is no secret anymore, at the beginning months of my hormones, we actually had a crying room for Izzy at the office. I needed it. Sometimes I'll just start crying out of nowhere. If your employee experienced this, know that it is temporary. It passes in a couple of weeks to a couple of months at max. And usually 6, 9 months, maybe a year after starting hormones, your employee might be absent for a couple of weeks if they choose surgical interventions to align their body better with their identified gender. Again, the time that they should be away from work would not be much more than when an employee is pregnant and delivers a baby. So that's why I used to like to use this analogy. One thing that can be very beneficial is to allow trans people to take leave of absences for visits to psychologists, visits to doctors, so that they do not need to take the recovery time that is holidays for it. A lot of companies are starting to implement this, actually.